think something that a lot of people struggle with too is since we are so consumed with school, is that SRNA becomes your personality. You know what I
100%.
mean? And it's like try to separate yourself from being a student. At the same time, it's like have the things that you like, that you dislike. Like, what are your hobbies? What are things that you want to do whenever you finish up school? Like, try to separate the two. And I know it can be difficult because we spend so much time, but I think that's a really important thing that people need to be thinking about too. Is like you're more than just a student. Like, you're more than just a CRNA provider.
Hello, future CRNA. Welcome to CRNA School Prep Academy podcast. I have a very special episode lined up for you today, and it is part of our guest host series where I am bringing current SRNAs on the show for you as a guest host on the CSBA podcast. And my thought process behind doing this is I wanted you to hear from current students, a variety of current students who are at different stages of their CRNA journey, and really allow you to kind of step into their world and hear them talk about what it's like to be a current student dealing with things like difficult preceptors or different anesthesia topics, clinical topics, maybe even things like time management, stress management, things like that. I think these episodes are going to be gold, and I hope you enjoy as much as I always do hearing from current students. I know for a fact that the reason why CRNA School Prep Academy is where it is today, and the reason why I have learned so much, is from diving all in, listening to current students along with CRNAs share a wealth of information and really kind of taking all of that information and kind of compiling it into kind of the system that we have created today. And I know that you're doing the same thing by tuning into the show week after week, developing your own method, your own strategy, and your own system for success. So I hope you enjoy these guest episodes. Let's go ahead and get into today's show.
Hey guys, welcome back to A Couple Nurses and Codable and Bullshit. It's your girl Monica.
And it's Daryl.
And today we just kind of wanted to do a episode which I feel like is super important on mental health and CRNA school and the struggles.
And shout out to Jenny over at CRNA School Prep Academy for giving us this show option and allowing us to talk about this topic with you guys.
Absolutely. So what are some outlets that, you would recommend to people when they're dealing with that stress or other mental health, that they may have, and how to kind of balance it with school? Because we all know, for those of you who haven't started, CRNA school is, let me just start out by saying, 100% doable. Okay, you can do it, but it's 100% hard. So it takes a huge toll on you, that's for sure. And you really need to make sure that you're 100% ready for like this roller coaster of emotions on top of, managing your outside life, family, relationships, and things of that matter. So like, what are some things that you typically do to kind of help you zen out?
Zen out.
I
would think first off, like, hindsight's always 2020.
Right.
So I would definitely say, if you are starting CRNA school, like, to understand that this is stressful. And I know you see a lot of creators and stuff talking about how stressed they are and like managing stress, and it's kind of hard to understand that until you're in it. You know what I
100%.
mean?
You're like, oh, they're being
Yeah.
dramatic
Oh,
or
there's always
whatever,
stress.
right?
No, 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 no,
No,
no, no.
man.
It's a full-time job,
It's
and you
real.
don't get paid for it, and you're actually paying for this, so it's kind of crazy. Um, but I think one of the biggest things that helps me is working out.
Yes.
Is huge. To, like, to dedicate that time towards like taking care of myself and like
Right.
my body. I've noticed that the weeks and the days that I don't work out as much, I feel like I'm a lot more tense and just a
Mm-hmm.
lot more stressed inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely try to find some kind of workout regimen, and also understand like what somebody else does that may not work for you.
Right.
So some people work out. If working out makes you more stressed, that may not be a good option for you.
It's
You know what I mean?
it's a balance for me. Like, I think for me is the lack of consistency with my workouts, because sometimes working out and being in the gym longer than 45 minutes, I'm like, I have to get back home. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta study, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
Like, it's not like it takes me an hour to get to the gym, right? It would take me, you know, 15 minutes to get to the gym. Then you get traffic, sprinkle in a little 5 minutes, right?
Mhm.
You're at the gym, okay? You gotta warm up first. You can't just go out and raw dog it. And then you drive home, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna hit some kind of traffic, at least the part we're living in. And then you gotta shower because you're not gonna study all stinky, right? And I'm not making excuses, guys. This is what my brain goes through. And then it's like I showered and I'm like, well, like I'm hungry, and yeah, I just burned all these calories, right? And I gotta feed the cells, and then I'm like, okay, well, like a total of like 2.5 hours has gone by, and then I kid you not, every time I've gone to the gym, and it was like a midday gym workout when Cordero and I were living together, I would get home and I was like, I'm done. I'm not studying, like, you know what I mean? Because the way that I study, I need to be sitting down in one spot, unbothered for solid like 6 to 8, maybe 12 hours. And yeah, it was just cutting into my routine. So I tried incorporating like more like late night workouts, and that really did help a lot for me. But then I'd be like super geeked at night. So
Yeah.
I found a new thing where it's like yoga. It's like a sauna yoga place, and honestly, like I go at either at night, yeah, and I go at night even after clinicals, and it like helps de-stress me. So again, find something that works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also find that just for lack of better words, complaining with other
Oh my
SRNAs
God, it
feels
helps.
good. Like
It's so good.
just talking to your classmates, like, "Hey, this sucks. Like, gosh, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
what do they expect from us? Like,
Yeah.
just
Just
complaining and like not having anybody tell you like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Like, no, just you guys all
yeah. It's so
complain
healthy.
about it in
Like, if
one
you're not a
sit.
complainer, wait till you get to, like, CRNA school. You're just gonna you're gonna be bitching about the smallest inconvenience, and it's fine because after you complain about it with your classmate, you feel better.
Everybody's on the same
You
page.
feel better. You know you're not crazy. You're not the only one feeling like this, and you feel a little bit better. Now, you get to a point where it's like if somebody's constantly complaining, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah, yeah. It's a healthy
it's a
balance.
healthy balance, but definitely helps even when social media finding something that you relate to, like, you know, if you follow me on Instagram, like for me, it's like it's the memes. Like that's my therapy. Like I'll find memes and it's like it's funny to me, and that's kind of how I de-stress.
Yeah,
Netflix,
Netflix is always good.
watching reruns of Grey's Anatomy, I will literally start over season 1, and that really
Mhm.
helps me out. I'm not being funny. So,
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like find a comfort show
yeah.
that you can just watch and just it meets a regular show for me. Like,
Yeah, right.
I'll watch that all day. Um,
Something else like I incorporated, it was like I wouldn't even call it like Friday night pizza and wine, or like usually for me it was Fridays, and it was like a ritual. I kid you not, I didn't miss one Friday not drinking wine, and if I did, I get really weird about it, and I'd have to do it on Saturday. It was just my time to watch like uninterrupted 2 hours of Netflix, like, and I was chilling, drinking my wine, maybe drink the whole bottle. I'm not sure, but had my pizza with me as well, and it was just like my time to relax, not be bothered, and just chill. And it was like my routine to do. So if you find something like that, or find a place to eat, go out to eat and drink with friends, you got to find something to where there's a certain amount of time and hours that are spent throughout the week or day that you're not looking at a book or a computer screen.
yeah. Some people play video games. I have a
Uh huh.
couple classmates that play games, and
Yep.
that works for them.
Yep.
Um, some unhealthy ways to manage your stress.
Drinking too
And
much.
yeah, this is serious. Like substance abuse is a real problem
Right.
in SRNAs and CRNAs just because everything we do is so stressful.
Right.
But to your point, like substance use disorder, which includes over drinking and
Right.
alcoholism, and there are a lot of people out there that do rely on that. And not to say that it's good or bad, but it's unhealthy. Like
It
it's
is
a
unhealthy.
fact. But yeah, I would just say if you are a drinker, just be conscious of how much you drink, and um, just try not to let it consume. Every time you get stressed, go drinking. Just I don't want to be that guy, but I
Yeah.
have to say it.
No, I mean, it's just funny because I was like, yeah, go out and eat with your friends and
Drink the
drink.
whole bottle.
Here comes Deepak Darrow being like, don't drink. No, all jokes aside though, that there is like there's a balance with it. Like I remember I was talking to one of my mentors, and she even said like, yeah, drinking wine's good, whatever your poison is. She's like, but be careful. She's like, she found herself during a time drinking too much throughout the
Mhm.
week. And like you said, it's definitely a balance. I mean, alcohol is definitely poison. It's not a lie about that. But also one of my other mentors said that when you start clinicals, because it's so new and it can be so stressful, that a lot of other CRNAs when they were in school admitted to like that was the time that they were drinking almost every day.
Mhm.
So you really need to find a balance, like Cordero was saying, and take care of your mind and body first, before poisoning it. So,
I also write, so probably 2 or 3 times a week.
like journal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll journal. It just helps get my thoughts out. Like I'm in my head a lot of the day,
Yeah.
and I feel misunderstood a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it just kind of gives me my own place to just dump and not be judged by anybody or anything
Right.
like that. So
You've been journaling for, quite a few years ever since I met you. I remember you literally has like old stacks of notebooks, just like where you would collectively write your thoughts. So that I can see how that definitely helps. With me, it's talking about it. I sometimes think quicker than what I can write.
yeah,
And I've tried journaling, and then by the end of it, I can't even read my own handwriting, and then I get impatient. So it took a while for Cordero. Like we've been together for quite some time, but when we were first dating, like couldn't understand why I would consistently talk about a certain topic, but that was my way to like de-stress and like ease my anxiety. Like I didn't necessarily need any advice, but it was just nice to have somebody in your corner supporting whatever that you were saying. Obviously, if you're 100% wrong, they're going to correct you. But sometimes you just need, an ear to just kind of vent, essentially. So
yeah,
finding a friend, finding somebody that you trust, a loved one, a family member that is going to listen to your concerns and not just like give you that generic response, oh, it's all going to be worth it. Like, no, I'm like, I don't want that right now. Like, yeah, I know it's going to
just
be worth
listen.
it, but please listen to me because, especially people that aren't in a program like this, is like they're not really going to understand to the core what it is that we're experiencing. So sometimes finding that person that's in a program with you and you make friends with them helps a lot. For me, it's my husband because he's in, CRNA program and he knows my personality and yeah.
Yeah.
Another daily dose of inspiration along your CRNA journey. It's finally my turn. I heard about CSBA back when it was still called ICU Dreaming About Anesthesia, back in 2019-2020. Life got in the way and I didn't end up applying. Years down the road, I wasn't sure if I was going to apply anymore or if CRNA was still the route I wanted to take. I decided I would apply finally this year just to see what happened and jumped back into CSBA. I got into 2 dream schools here in California. I applied to 3 schools total, 2 acceptances, and will not be taking the 3rd interview. My stats are average, 3.3 GPA, 301 GRE, CCRN, leadership positions at my hospital, local Sigma Theta Tau, retook a class and did a lot of interview prep through CSBA, which is through Nurses Teach Nurses, and with CRNA friends. It is doable. Believe in your dreams, invest in yourself. Thank you, Jenny, Dr. Wilson, and team. I could not have done it without you, and thank you to this community for your supportive nature and advice. I am grateful forever. Thank you so much for sharing the story. Congratulations, you know who you are. And I'm so proud that, again, you took the chance on yourself to just apply and see what happened. And I really think this kind of strikes me as someone who maybe is unsure, right? So maybe the question of CRNAs for them because they feel so unsure about whether they'd be successful or not. And I think this is a very common experience that people don't know if it's for them because they're not certain if maybe they're cut out for it. Maybe they think they're not smart enough or they don't have the best experience or the best leadership or whatever it is. But I can't say this enough that if you don't at least give yourself a chance, you're never going to be able to address potential shortcomings. And it's one of those, and I don't even call them shortcomings, but like, for example, if you never tried to make a basketball team when you were younger, would you have ever made a basketball team? No, you wouldn't. You would never have, because maybe you would try to make the basketball teams and you'd realize, oh, I'm not very good at slam dunking, or I'm not very good at dribbling, or I don't know, whatever. So quote unquote shortcomings or areas for improvement would be, you would never know what it is you need to focus on to make the basketball team. It's similar, you guys. You would never know what it is you need to improve upon to make it into CRNA school if you don't at least start the process of trying. So that's what I hope to leave you with, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and back to the show.
I feel like another thing that I love to do is get my nails and feet done. Like it was just feeling nice and polished and just looking at my nails and seeing that they were all glammed up, like really, really made me happy. Depending on how your finances are, like when you're in school, like, yeah, you're relying a lot on loans and, other people may be relying on their savings. But for me, it was like, this is something that made me happy. This isn't something that's bad for me. I mean, sure, you want to get all researchy. I did get shellac and stuff like that. Probably not the best, but whatever. But anyways, this is something that actually made me happy. And I really enjoyed doing that for myself. And here and there, I would sprinkle in like a massage, ever so often. And God, it just felt so nice to do something for yourself that was unrelated to school.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because your whole literally it takes over your life. Like it's
right.
I don't even try to think about school sometimes and like I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like in the bed, like I was talking about the oxygen delivery like formula or something like that. Like first thing in the morning, it's like I can't help it. Like it's what I'm thinking about.
No, and I think it makes matters, worse on that topic because we're both in school, you guys. So I want to say 95% of our conversations are related to being an SRNA, CRNA content, anatomy and physiology, pharmacology, and you don't realize it until you're out in public with normal people who aren't in a program.
They're just like, I wish they would stop talking about these
Right.
receptors.
Or even sometimes just like I don't even know what to talk about with other like friends and it sucks because you're over consumed for 3 years of your life on, in school and it's difficult. Like I remember I went out and got invited to a city that's nearby where I go to school and had some friends that were there and they were like, Monica, like, just come out, like come turn up for the night. And I was like, I can't, I got a test, next week. And they talked me into it. I took an hour drive. I made it there, and I had such a good time. But also at times, I felt a little bit out of touch because I was like, I haven't been around people that haven't been in school for so long in person.
Little awkward turtle.
I did feel like a little awkward turtle, yes. And so I was like, okay, like, let me have a drink and kind of just relax and like, calm down and kind of just enjoy my time because we're so overconsumed with being in front of a computer, reading notes or learning about something new. So definitely take those opportunities when you have a break and or even a free weekend and you do have friends that are coming over, like plan something because that was probably one of my most fun weekends that I've had in a while since starting school. And it was just so nice at the end of it all to be invited by your friends and kind of just, have fun and let loose.
Yeah. I think something that a lot of people struggle with too is since we are so consumed with school, is that SRNA becomes your personality. You know what I
100%.
mean? And it's like try to separate yourself from being a student. At the same time, it's like have the things that you like that you dislike. Like what are your hobbies? What are things that you want to do whenever you finish up school? Like try to separate the two. And I know it can be difficult because we spend so much time, but I think that's a really important thing that people need to be thinking about too. Is like you're more than just a student. Like you're more than just a CRNA provider, SRNA
Just like
provider.
whenever you're a nurse, like, after you graduate, you're more than just a nurse.
Hmm.
But that is a hard task to do. And that's something that I struggle with. He had asked me the other day, what are my hobbies? I was like, studying, like watching Netflix. Like I don't know. And I'm making a goal to start working on that if I have time, honestly, to try and find something for myself. But like one of my biggest goals when I graduate is literally find a hobby. I don't care if it's even like planting, like I don't know, gardening, like doing something for
You're gonna be
myself.
you're gonna be our travel planner.
Yes, I'm gonna be our travel planner, that's for sure. And and that really took a toll on me, that question, because I was like, well, shit, like I don't have any hobbies. You know what I mean? I'm literally a student, and it's such a hard thing to do. And so I encourage every one of you guys, like, find a hobby while you're in school. Like, even if that means playing video games, like for you, writing, like that's a hobby that you like to do. You know what I mean? It's non-school related, so definitely find a hobby, and I think that's really important for your mental health.
Yeah, for sure. And I do meditating too, which
Oh, he's a big.
which I know is a lot of like I don't know, a lot of people crap on meditating because it's a difficult thing to like
Oh, it
start
is.
to learn how to do and like to really just like let your mind like not really focus on anything. And I wouldn't even say it's not focus on anything. It's just like being able to sit alone, quiet with your thoughts. We're so stimulated all day.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever you ask people when was the last time you sat down and didn't do anything at all, it's very hard for people to remember that. You know what I mean? Um, so be able to sit somewhere quiet, like observe your thoughts, be like, like, why am I thinking about this right now? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll be sitting down meditating sometimes and I'm thinking about school stuff, but then you can catch yourself like, dang, like I'm not supposed to be thinking about anything right now. Like I'm supposed to be chilling.
Yeah.
And then give yourself that grace, and then you're chilling, chilling, chilling. It's like, oh, and then a pop comes in about you, or a thought comes in about a vacation that we had a couple years ago,
Right.
and it's like, okay, no, I'm supposed to be chilling, I'm supposed to be chilling. But just being able to have that ability to like notice your emotions and notice when things are popping up, I think is a strength. And it kind of just put yourself at ease. It doesn't, again, everything's different for everybody, but
Right.
this is just something that works for me.
No, absolutely. And I think also, I think something to really consider that we haven't mentioned is if you need to go talk to somebody professional, go do it. Like
Hmm.
this is something that's hard. Again, 100% doable, 1,000% doable. But things will get tough. You will be challenged, in your personality, your ego, your relationships will be, challenged. Financially, you'll be challenged. You're gonna be challenged overall. And a lot of people aren't used to that and it hitting you at 1,000 miles an hour and you're still expected to perform. So, there's no negative stigma on going to see a provider and really seeking help. I remember you talking about that there's so many classmates of yours that are on like Lexapro or whatever
Hmm.
now, and they're just happy little butterflies, and that's great for them, and that's what they needed
Yeah.
because you're gonna find dark times where you're lonely, you're depressed, there's a lot on your plate, and you feel like you can't do it. And I think we can all say that we've experienced that more times than not as as a CRNA
Hmm.
student. And if you need help on picking yourself back up, and just know that that's okay. Like
Hmm.
go do it. Again, remember this is an investment for your future. We don't have time to play around, time to play games. Like if you find yourself feeling dark that early on, you need to go seek some kind of help.
100%.
So,
And I would also say, when it comes on this mental health path and journey, is like if you're studying hard every day, like you're gonna have days where you're just like tired.
mhm.
And I've had a couple of those this past semester where it'll be midweek and it'll be like 1 p.m. I'm just like,
Burnt.
dude, I am tired.
Right.
So like understand that like if you're that tired, whatever you're studying and whatever you're trying to study and retain isn't going to
No,
stick.
it's
So
gonna
I've
be
taken those days to just like sit down for 4 hours, sit down for 5 hours and just do nothing. You know what I mean? If you're studying enough and applying yourself the way you're supposed to, like you can give yourself a couple hours to just chill and let your brain like relax.
right.
I'm not sure how many people do that, but
I
it
did it.
helps me.
I did that. I think
You just feel burnt,
well, I think yeah,
you
you're
know?
burnt. You are burnt out, literally. Like after my two really hard semesters, I had another semester right after that, which was like a regional course on steroids for like 4 weeks, a test every week, and I was done. I was checked out. I still did well, but I think what helped me around that time, and I even did this in the past from my bigger semesters, is how Cordero was saying, you're gonna feel burnt out. You're gonna be like, huh, the studying that I'm doing is not sticking at all. And you
Yeah.
get frustrated and then you're like, why is this not working?
You're in front of the computer and then you just like put your head down
Or then you get on your phone
and
and then
just
you waste, an hour on Instagram, whatever the case may be. So I started giving myself a day off. I was like, if you're studying efficiently enough and you're utilizing your time, and if you're going to study for 6 hours, if you're going to study for 8 hours, 12 hours, study, apply. You'll be amazed on how much you're able to retain for that long,
it's
right?
crazy.
It's crazy. Your mind's
If you're
incredible.
focused
If
then
you push yourself past those limitations, right? So studying efficiently is key because then you can reward yourself with an unplanned day off. These are unplanned days where you wake up and most of the days you're gonna have to push through it. I'm not saying every time you're just like I'm not gonna study. Like no, like most of the days you're finding yourself that you're pushing through this, right? But there's gonna be those days where mentally like you are checked out. Like that's whenever you put your things away, tell yourself that this is okay to do. And if that means reaching out to a class and be like, I just feel so guilty that I'm not studying today. And if that person knows how you are, they're gonna be like, no, you deserve it. You've been busting your ass. Or if you speak to your spouse and they say the same thing, have that kind of validation. And it's this like mental, like, reverse psychology game you play with yourself. Take the day off, take your feet up, do something for yourself, what that means. Sitting down and doing absolutely nothing, going out and exploring, going to
going
eat out with
outside,
family, going outside, doing something
walking.
besides looking at a freaking computer. Take those days off. Cordero he makes such an excellent point with that. Again, these are unplanned days off, so it's
I
okay.
remember I remember towards the end of this quarter when I was just like on
Mhm.
my last hanging on to my last little
Thread.
thread of just like life. Like I
Mhm.
was like crawling to the finish line of this quarter. And I remember I was like texting you or calling you a couple days before we had our tests. I was like, hey, like, I'm tired. Like, I'm just like, I'm so ready for this quarter to be over. You're just like, take a break and then get back to studying,
Right.
and I didn't want to hear that. Like, I wanted to hear, you've been doing good, just like go relax, like you're fine. Like, no, it was like, hey, like you have one more test,
Push through.
push through, and like you need people in your corner that's going to keep it real with you. I mean, not people that are going to tell you things that you want to hear. Because I
Exactly.
wanted you to tell me, like, you're fine, baby, you're going to do good on your test, just go
No,
relax.
no,
It's like, no,
it's 2 days before test day. That's game time.
it was.
Don't take no days off before game time. Like, yeah, no,
No, facts,
no.
100%
Like, you got to
facts.
be a little bit like intelligent on the decisions that you're making. So it's like, like you said, having somebody in your corner is very important. So overall, like seeking help whenever you need help, find an outlet that works really, really well for you. Being okay with not being okay. Talking with your colleagues and your classmate really, really helps. And just having somebody in your corner just makes everything so much better. So find that
Yeah,
person for yourself.
that's a really good summary.
Yeah. And really, really don't take taking care of yourself for granted, honestly, because
For sure. That's what's going to get you through the program, really
absolutely.
is. Like, you don't want to finish up school broken. Um, you're going to finish school as a stronger person, but you don't want to like lose yourself in the process.
Right.
You got to take care of your mental health, got to take care of your body.
Right.
And even if you make goals for yourself after school, it's like, hey, like after school, like I'm gonna get fit. Like I'm gonna get back to taking care of myself. Like you can have a goal of that. I think that'll help too. Because it's rough.
It's rough.
It's rough.
I also think something that will help with easing the anxiety and like the mental anguish of school in general is
Anguish.
mm,
Continue.
is he's a planner. He writes everything down, and that's what works and helps and eases his anxiety. For me, it's utilizing my Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, and setting everything out so I have it in front of me, and I know when things are due, and it sets like timelines for myself. And so, really planning out your weeks, planning out your days is gonna assist you in utilizing your time more efficiently as well, and that'll help ease some of that anxiety.
Yeah, I agree. Gotta
Okay.
plan it. But I hope you guys extracted some gems from today.
Extracted. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really, really hope this helps. This is a serious matter, so really, take everything in this video and try to make a difference if you find yourself in that dark place. And just know, again, CRNA school is 1,000% doable. Just really got to take care of yourself at the end of the day.
For sure, for sure. We know mental health isn't one of those things a lot of people like to talk about, but it is very important. And everybody's situation is unique, so find out what works for you.
Absolutely.
And you guys take care of yourself out there, and we'll talk to you next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Hey, future CRNA, as always, I appreciate you and your loyalty. Thank you so very much for tuning in this week. I'd love to hear from you, so screenshot this episode and share it to your IG stories with your biggest takeaway. Don't forget to tag me at CRNA School Prep Academy so I can personally thank you. Be sure to head over to CRNASchoolPrepAcademy.com to check out our blog and gather free resources to help you along your CRNA journey. Stay strong, and I'll see you next week.